There we are. Okay, I knew something was off. Okay, great. So people should be able to hear me. Edith, can you hear me okay? Maybe you could drop it in the chat or you
Yes.
can feel free. Perfect. I was talking and I was like, nope, it's muted. I know somewhere it's muted and I found it.
Great.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to stop sharing screen. Just wanted to say hello. Thank you for being here. Feel free to introduce yourself and let me know, how did you find us today?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Edith. I'm an interpreter and translator, and I found you because I joined the email list for the Toastmasters group that you've just started.
I love it.
I'm starting to receiving all the other emails too.
Oh, great. I hope they're helpful to you.
Definitely, yes.
Oh, great. Okay, so do you do the interpreting business on your own? Is that your business, or are you affiliated with an organization that places you, or both?
Yes, it is my own company, my own
Oh,
business.
so you're an entrepreneur. What languages do you translate?
English and Spanish.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
You're here. A lot of folks watch from Facebook, so I can't see their comments in real time. So you get the blessing of being able to ask me anything you want in real time, any questions that you have. And before I go into it, two questions. One, did you happen to catch the replay by any chance of last week's email marketing presentation that I did?
Yes, I did. And I listened to probably half of it.
Okay. Did you
Yes.
have any questions? Was it helpful? Is there anything particular that you find challenging about email marketing? And sorry, my camera's not on today. I'm in the space, but I can't turn my camera on right now.
Okay. As far as as up to where I got, it was very useful and very interesting. I don't have any questions, but I'm hoping that I'll have some questions about the email list today.
Sure. So do you have a list?
Well, I do, but it's, like one of the ladies said in that presentation last week, it's a mix.
No shame and no shame. I hear the little bit of shame popping up in your voice. Feel no shame about it, because it can feel like really overwhelming to service our clients, try to market to our clients, to get new clients, and then to continue to nurture people once they're on our list. It can often feel like a lot of balls that we're juggling in the air all at once.
Yes.
What are some of your major goals for your email marketing efforts? Like, what is, you saw the beginning. So it was sort of like, are you looking to generate more sales? Are you looking to nurture and get additional sales from current people, or, a mixture? What are some goals that you have with regard to your email list?
Yes, my goal is to obtain new clients.
Okay. And do you have social media presence as well?
I do have a Facebook page, but
Okay.
I haven't been there in a long time.
Sure. And where do you get most of your clients from now? You're getting a rocket. You're like getting like $250 worth of consulting right now. So I hope it's helpful, but I want to make our times together as relevant as possible. So that's why I'm asking all of these questions, so that I know how to tailor the conversation in a way that hopefully addresses your needs. And then of course you can feel free to ask me as well.
Yes, sure. Mostly is by word of mouth. I worked with a lot of attorneys, and I also worked with interpreting agencies who refer me work.
Okay, so my
idea is to have more direct clients.
Okay. So you do want to have more individual clients who maybe work for entities and businesses, or what kinds of folks would they be? Would they be business owners, in other words, B2B marketing, or would they be customers who actually need your services themselves and they would be hiring you for personal use?
It would be attorneys firms.
Okay.
Law firms. Yes.
Okay.
Basically, what I'd like to focus is on civil cases, family law.
Okay.
Sometimes people do not speak the language and they're getting a divorce, or the, yes, divorces or guardianships, things like that.
Okay.
And then they need an attorney who represents them. And then when they go to court, they need to have a certified interpreter.
Okay.
So that's my intention, more family law attorneys.
Okay. Got it. Perfect. Thank you so much, Edith. I appreciate that feedback. I know you didn't expect to get put on the hot seat, although you did watch and you saw a little bit of my personality. I do tend to do that. So thank you. Jackie Dawson, welcome. Glad to see you. Are you positioned to take off your mic, take your mic off mute and introduce yourself?
I am. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Edith. Nice to meet you. I am a licensed mental health therapist in South Florida, not far from Michelle. I work full-time and also have a private practice. I am really just listening. I don't have too much answers for any of your questions.
Don't worry, I was not about to grill you. I hear it. Don't worry, you're okay.
So, but I do, obviously I'm on, all of your emails, and I love the personal touch. Of course, it feels like you're talking to me, which I love, of course. And I know at some point I need to, when I choose to start marketing, my stuff, I do need to get onto the email marketing. So I'm really here to kind of listen in and just kind of hear your tips and tricks that have worked for you over the years.
Oh, awesome. I'm super excited. Thank you for being here. Okay, so because you both already watched the first one, I'm not going to delve too deeply into who I am, other than to say that I have spent a lot of years. I feel like I've spent 3 decades in professional and personal development, education, receiving the education, teaching people in that field, as well as then shifting into law practice, corporate law practice, and then working with solopreneurs and side hustlers specifically to help us all succeed and go to our next level. And what I've identified is that we have certain specific pain points that are shared between us and among us, right? And so bringing that education to you to help you move to your next level is my entire goal in life. I know that as a fact. That's what Her Power Space, my co-working space here in Broward County, is for, as a hub and incubator and ecosystem to help especially micro business owners get the resources you need and the community you need, and to feel safe asking what you know, and then for us to also fill in the gaps for what you don't know, because none of us know what we don't know, right? You know how I'm supposed to say that. I don't even know if I said that right, but you can't know what you don't know sometimes. And so we're here to also fill in those gaps. So that's why I like to ask a lot of questions and sort of see where folks are and really try to have my finger on the pulse of what some of the pain points are. So I'm going to start sharing screen again now. And what we did last time we were together was that we talked about sort of the beginning stages of what does it look like to automate a very simple welcome series for folks on your email list, right? And now today we're going to delve into what does it look like to get people on the list. And honestly, we're going to talk about getting them off the list as well, because that is equally as important. It is about the overall health of your email list, and we're going to talk about why that's important in a moment. I begin every single talk I do, whether that's in person, online, however you are interacting with me. If I am coming in front of you to do what I promised to do, which is to teach you something to add value to your journey as an entrepreneur, I want you to hold me accountable. And so I created, 6 years ago, the What's in It for Me workshop, because I was tired of going to other people's events and realizing there is nothing in here for me. Why did I come? And so this is a way for you to have a downloadable, free downloadable. I don't even require you to give me your email address to get this. You can download this worksheet, fill it in. The most important parts of the worksheet, in my opinion, are: 1, the promise of the presenter to you. Why, what was it that they say that they're going to deliver on? And to the promise to yourself that within 24 hours, you will implement at least one thing. And some people say I'm being really harsh by making that 24 hours. And the reason I say 24 hours is because it's fresh, it's in your mind. And if you're like me, 24 minutes after this, I'll probably forget half the things I said, right? So 24 hours, I think, is a really long time, to be honest. And then the third part is, the presenter's promise to you, your promise to yourself to implement something within 24 hours, and to promise yourself, if this isn't giving you the value, bounce. Don't stay because you've now identified, why do I need to be there? What was their promise to me? And they're not delivering on it, so I'm out, and that's fine. Last week, like I said, we talked about easy email marketing part 1. The YouTube link is here. Sorry, I did not pretty link it. I kind of just put the clip there, but it is there. If you go to my YouTube channel, you can see it. It's one of the first public videos that's going to show up. All right, so we're actually going to delve right in today, and I want to talk to you about list building and the steps to thinking about how to create a list that makes sense. Now, I am not going to go into segmentation, which is extremely important, and I'm going to just simply say 2 things about it at this point. One, the first piece is that segmentation, let me just define it. Once you go through these steps that we're talking about who you're attracting, why you're attracting them, you are going to create something called, in most systems, tags, or some way of identifying people that you can put them into tags or groups, depending on the email marketing service that you're using. They will call it different things, but at the end of the day, it is a way for you to identify groups of people who have a characteristic that you can then talk to them in bulk. And like Jackie said a minute ago, I feel like you're talking directly to me because you have identified a characteristic in them that you align with and can talk to them about, and they really feel like, oh my gosh, she's speaking directly to me. Okay, so that's the importance of segmentation. And you are blessed if you don't have a list yet, or your list is very small right now, that you can now create a tag or group or number of groups that you can have people self-identify as, or you can automatically identify them as that. And I'll talk you more through how that works in practice. Okay, so we want to really be clear about list building. Who is it that you want to attract? If you were listening and you heard me asking Edith very pointed questions, it's, are you talking to another business owner? Do you provide goods and services to a business owner, or do you provide goods and service to an end user customer, right? Who is it that you're trying to get onto your list? Because like we talked about last week, you have already set a goal for what your list building purposes are. That one goal, right? It doesn't have to be one goal for the life of your business. It's just that for our purposes and activities, we set one goal at a time, right? So the one goal. So an example of this for me would be that for her power space, I want to create a group of people who are micro business owners who work from home and need a virtual address, a virtual office, a business mailing address that has a suite number and is not a post office box number, right? Now, I know that at that high level now, Michelle wants micro business owners who work from home but want to have a professional presence, want to have a business address that has a suite number. And now I can think about, okay, so why do they want that? They want a suite number because they know they can't get business credit with a post office box. They know that they can't have a Google My Business with a post office box, right? Now I can begin to talk to them about the psychology of what they want and why they want it, by simply having a tag that says virtual office. So now I know these are people who are interested in virtual offices. We'll talk in a minute about how to get them to you, that you know this about them. Now, why do I want to attract them? Well, I want to attract them because I would like to sell my services to them. They have a need I believe I can fill. And so I want to get them in the pipeline so that they can learn more about us. You can look at that as brand awareness that leads to marketing, that leads to sales, because marketing will get you leads, but sales will get you paid. And if you are in business, it is all about the sale, right? Customer service, ethical nature, all of that, we make the assumption we are doing. But if you are in business, the goal is to make money and to make more money than you are spending. And so you need to attract customers. So we want to attract who? Micro business owners who need mailbox services. Why? Because that's something that I sell at Her Power Space. Now let's go get them. Okay, so now that you've identified who you want to attract, why you want to attract them, then we start to think about, okay, well, where is it that these people are? Edith mentioned word of mouth. If that's the case, there are two things that Edith can do. Edith can put her existing customers into her email list, give them a tag that says existing customers, prior customers, something that lets her know that this is a universe of people who have used my services. And then the strategy that I could think of, and we're going to talk about this a bit more in the next slide as well, is to send them a survey and ask them to leave you a Google review. If they, in the survey, tell you, or some people call it a net promoter score, right? You can give people one question on a scale of 0 to 10, I think, how would you rate our services? And get what they call a net promoter score. There's loads of information about that, so I'm not going to go deep on it, but you could literally send people who have purchased a service or good from you that one simple question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your experience with us? You get that. Everybody who's over a 7 now gets another tag, right? And please, I hope this doesn't sound complicated, because there are absolutely ways to automate this on the back end. I just want to walk us through it conceptually so you can see the value. So the first piece is we have a tag that says these are people who have used my interpreting services before. Then we send that universe of people, and only that universe of people, an email that says it was a pleasure working with you. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate us? Everybody who rates you above a 7, you can then send an email, because now we're saying we're giving the mailing service the command. Everybody who gives us over a 7, and from this email set, please send them this next email that says, thank you so much for your feedback. We loved working with you as well. Do you know anyone who could use our services? That's one thing you can ask them. And you can create this as like a drip campaign. The first one that goes out could be, do you know anyone who could use our services? We love word of mouth. We'd love if you'd send them our way. You can make it easy for them. You can copy and paste something that they can just simply put into an email to another colleague and send that along to refer them to you, right? Then the next email could be, oh, we would love it. We'd really appreciate if you leave us a Google review. Right. And so now, because of that one tag, you have this entire funnel of folks who are able to kind of be your advocates and allies out in the world that you're actually activating, because sometimes people just don't think about it. So back to the list building. Who do you want to attract? Identify who it is. Why do you want to attract them? Is it to build awareness for your brand? Is it to market? Is it to sell? And then now go get them. So the first way was to reach out to people who have already worked with you. Well, what if you want to generate new clients and new customers? Another way to do that is through something called an opt-in. What you can do is create a downloadable that people can use to their benefit that leads to why you want to attract them in the first place. An example of that would be, I'm a relationship marketing consultant. So I have an opt-in that's like the 5 ways to market your business without marketing, because so many people are like, I hate marketing. I feel swarmy. I don't like the way it feels. I don't want to do it, etc. And so I have this really simple, like, look, this is a way to market without marketing. It's super easy. You can just do it. Actually, I'll start sharing and show it to you, because a lot of people really don't like to market their businesses. And it's something that for me, I absolutely love to do. And so I created this quick and down and dirty 5-step infographic that people can simply use to download, but by saying something to them that captures their attention, because they don't like to market, they'll be more inclined to give me their email address because they want this opt-in. So how many of you, Edith, Jackie, have you ever given your email, right? And I asked this question the last time as well. Have you ever given your email address to an entity because they offered a freebie, right? Something that you wanted that they offered to you for free. I'm gonna share my screen again so you can see. So I think you can see this 5 ways to market without marketing. And it's literally 5 steps, right? And people can download this as a super quick and easy downloadable. And they love it because it's like, oh my gosh, these are ideas that I hadn't thought of in the past. And by giving them this easy, ethical, non-salesy marketing, right? Giving them really simple ideas, they give me their email address and this gets sent to them. And what I can do, back to, you know, our segmentation ideas, is so then I say, okay, well, now I know that this person is a person who's interested in marketing. So as a marketing consultant, I tag them in my list. This is why they came. This is what caught their attention. This is what they're interested in. So now I have more insight into their psychographics. What makes them buy? Why do they care? What do they need? So those are just a couple of high level things. And then we're gonna next go into they're here now, now what? Okay, so I'm gonna actually stop sharing screen again, just to kind of take the pulse in the room. Do you have any questions from that? Was that clear?
Yes, I have one question. The downloadable that you suggested, a little article that we can send them, we send them to the original list, right? So those people that graded us over 7 points. Is that what you're saying?
No, I was saying that was a different, that was actually a different sort of funnel. So the first funnel in your case, when I was talking about the Net Promoter Score, and then for them, we're actually asking them to tell other people about us, because you said you got a lot of folks from word of mouth. So we're activating them in a more comprehensive way, in a more focused and strategic way. That's what that was. So my free downloadable is now, okay, well, I want to begin to put people in a funnel for brand awareness because they don't know me at all, right? So I'm putting this downloadable as an opt-in in places with people that are not already on my list. Right. So the first one are people who you've actually worked with and delivered services and goods to. The second one is, what do you do with strangers? And one of the ways to get their emails in is to offer them something and find out who then raises their hand and says, yes, I want this. And the way to know they want it is they give you their email in exchange for the thing.
Okay, perfect.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? So I'm gonna actually now shift over to, okay, they're here now, now what? So I often talk about the Underpants Gnomes. They're my favorite from South Park. They go into the kids' rooms at night and steal their underpants. And then they take them down into a cavern. And one night, one of the little boys wakes up and follows them. He's like, why are you stealing our underpants? And they have this like elaborate chart that says steal the underpants plus, and then there's nothing there. And then it's like equals success, right? And so for so many of us, we're missing that thing, but we know that there's something on the other side of it. And we're doing all of this activity. And it's like, what's the missing piece? And one of the things that we don't like to do is have unsubscribers. And I actually love my unsubscribers if they're unsubscribers for the right reasons. So now we're going to talk on the other side of segmentation. So we started already now with list building. We're going to go out to social media. We're going to offer people something that aligns with our goal for building the list, which in essence aligns with a reason for them to purchase from us down the line, right? Or we give them something for sale right at the outset. And that's the customer, that kind of customer funnel where it's like, you just purchased my good, you just purchased my service. Now your email is in my list as a current customer. And we can have different conversations based on how me as the business owner, my goals shift and change with regard to interacting with that person. The other piece, and I talked to Michelle about this last week when we all were together, was the concept of there are people on my list who joined my list when I was doing something different than what I'm doing now. Right. And so it's literally about reactivating those people, letting them know who you are, reintroducing yourself. So again, all of this comes back to segmentation. So whether you don't have a list at all yet, or whether you have a list that might be shifting, or you just have a list, but it's just a mishmash of everyone in every type of way that you've met in various places who have different types of roles, what you'll do is put together a segmentation strategy to figure out who they are. And the way to figure out who they are, honestly, is to continue to email them based in alignment with what your current goals are. So Edith mentioned that she recently joined because she learned of me through Toastmasters and the Toastmasters club that we're bringing to her power space. And now she's in that. And so she gets segmented matters for that. However, she's then gotten other emails because she's probably clicked on a link in one of the emails that I sent. So that would put her into another group that says, Edith's also interested in this kind of information, maybe for marketing. And so that is how you get to know what people want. But the only way to know is to give them an opportunity to tell you. And while the recipient of the email, might not know that they're telling you what they want, crafting your emails in such a way so that you collect the data you need by segmenting them, having them click on a link that automatically puts them into a group, having them reply to you, giving them a survey, and analyzing that data and then grouping them based on their responses. All of this, which is a lot of work, it sounds like a lot of work, and it is a lot of work, and there are ways to automate it. But the bottom line is you're having a healthy list can make the difference between 6, 5, 7 figures, to be quite frank, in your business if done properly and in alignment with your goals. So it is worth it, and just to do a little piece at a time. But however, the more you email people and begin to understand who they are and what their needs are, the healthier your list becomes. The risk with that, which is to me a good risk, is that people will unsubscribe because what you're offering is not in alignment with them being on your list. But that's the beauty of it, because one, the bigger your list gets, the more expensive it can become. And two, if you have people on your list who are not interacting with your emails, email service, email platforms like Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, they have algorithms running in the background. So if they start to see that a large population of their people who have the extension at blah, blah, blah.com are not opening your emails, they will begin to downgrade your emails. And they will not land even in the email inboxes of people who want to hear from you. And so having unsubscribers is actually a thing of beauty. And we can automate what that looks like. And I'm going to share screen and show you a little bit of what I do personally and survey it again, going back to the advice that I was giving earlier to Edith, that comes here again. You want to know, why are they on your list? So you can ask them active questions, or you can provide them with data and information and resources and see how they reply. And it's actually not so hard to say goodbye to yesterday or unsubscribers. Okay, I should not sing ever. So any questions while I start to pull up the next pieces?
No, everything is clear.
Okay,
Very,
great.
very creative.
Great. All right, so for some reason, my email, I had my email list servers open so long it timed itself out. So let me log back, I'm logging back in. And now they're like, who are you? Why are you coming back? Sorry, they're giving me, see, this is what I'm saying. Even the email list service providers are very touchy about, because there are so many laws and regulations with spam and things like that, that this matters a great deal. All right, so I'm verified now. I can go ahead and show you my automation. Sorry, I have to come down to it. Okay, great. Now I'm going to show you. Okay, so here you see I have something. I've literally sent 3 that I purged, right? I started in different times over time with this particular campaign that I started using in April 2021. I literally started purging my list because I got extremely intentional about it, right? And you can see the typical open rate that I have is 35 to 45%, right? Which is actually a little high. 20% is about what they consider a healthy open rate. I have a very high open rate because I'm really, really focused on what I'm saying to my folks and who's on the list, right? And so this 5% is in line with the fact that these people were weighing down my list, right? So let's go in and let me show you, kind of walk through what I do. And I have no problem with it because that leaves room, and trust me, you pay in tranches of a few thousand at a time, right? So the more people you have on your list, that's paying for people who are never going to buy from you. This is about an investment, and there should be returns on that investment. Okay, so in this instance, when people got added to this group, and that was something I did manually by saying, they have not interacted. In my case, I'll look at something like they've not opened an email from me within 6 months. In fact, somebody reached out to me recently and was like, Michelle, I'm not getting your emails. And in fact, I looked and they hadn't opened one of my emails in 6 months, and I purged them. And they were like, please reactivate me, right? So this is like the psychology of how all of this works. Because they're like, Michelle, I'm seeing you're doing all of this. I'm like, look, I sent you the emails. You stopped opening them 6 months ago. And sorry, I say bye-bye, right? And they're like, no, reactivate me, okay? So in this case, I'm gonna show you what my system looks like and what types of emails. And remember, this is in my voice, okay? So you get my email, so you know my voice. All right, so on trigger, they get this email, and the first email that goes out, oh, let me stop it. I forgot to turn this off. I can't edit anything if it's on. All right, so the first email that folks get from me at the beginning is loading slowly. It says, hey, how the heck are you? It's been a while since you've opened or clicked on one of my emails, so I figured I'd check in on you and let you know what you've missed from me in the past couple months, right? And so then I give them some things that they can tap into. This is kind of shaking them to say, look, this is what you've missed by not opening my emails. You're missing out on stuff, right? That's the first email that goes out. If they don't click on this within about 3 or 4 days or something like that, sorry, this is moving slowly. So that first email goes out, and then there's a 3-day delay. I give them 3 days to open this. If they don't open this, right? So if they opened it over here, okay, that takes them out of this workflow, and now they stay. And I say, hey, look, now you're here. Let's give you what you need. I ask them questions. I think I give them a little survey to say, hey, what kind of stuff are you interested in, right? Because these are people who had at one point stopped opening my emails from 6 months ago, right? So now it's like, okay, well, dag, I clearly wasn't giving you what you needed. How can I best serve you now? You got 2 minutes, answer these questions, right? And you can always reply to me and schedule a 15-minute complimentary chat with me, because that's the consulting side of me, right? I want to know, how are you doing? What's going on? My list, while I want to provide value, my hope is that there's a percentage of the list that actually ends up making a purchase from me at some point. So just remember, at any point in the rest of the emails that I'm going to show you, if someone opens it, it takes them out of getting any more of those emails that are leading them to me saying goodbye to them, and then gives them that email that gives them an opportunity to let me know how I can really help them. Okay, so I'm only now going to show you the side of the funnel from people who don't open over an X amount of days. So that first email goes out, wait 5 days, they open it, they go over there. They don't open it, now we're staying here. Okay, they didn't open it. All right, I got just one question for you then, right? So then there's another question. In this email, I kind of say, well, what is it? I think, what do you want from me? I think, I don't say it that way, but I noticed you haven't opened. Is it something I said? Are you focused on other things, right? Corporate partnerships, decision makers, like, again, giving them now opportunities to learn more, check out videos, giving them other ways to interact and get more resources, seeing, well, is it this, right? Is this something you're interested in? Then they don't open that. We wait another few days. And again, this is all automated. There was work at the front end, but now it's super simple, right? Okay, if, hey, is it you? Is it me or is it you, right? And then we wait another 5 days. Right? That was that. Okay. Then we wait that 5 days. Then we wait another 3 days. And then, yeah, 2 days. So now this is 13 days into this. This is an entire sequence I'm showing you, right? So this is 13 days from the beginning to this point. And then the next email. All right. So now this is the 3rd email I'm sending that they haven't opened. Well, that was a waste of time, right? I don't want to keep bothering you with emails. I don't want to remove you if you really want to stay, but you're about to be kicked off, right? You're about to go. And this is kind of worth being here. There's value here. I give them something else. So if this is where we part ways, then I bid you farewell. And if you're reading this within a few days of receiving it, right, then you're safe. Otherwise, you're out. Okay. So then what happens? That's the last email in the sequence. I wait a few days and then they go into a purge and get bounced. And a lot of people feel scared to do this, right? And this is it. They get thrown out. See you later, Jazz. If you ever watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you can see I'm Jif heavy, right? If you ever watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Jazz gets thrown out the house, right? So see you later, Jazz. That's it. And out he goes. And that's kind of where we are. And you got to say goodbye, right? And be okay with it. And let that person know, look, somebody came back to me 6 months later, Michelle, oh my God, no, put me back on your list. I don't know how I'm missing it. I know people get busy, right? We all know that folks get busy. And so that's kind of walking through that. So again, I just sort of dumped a lot of information on you. kind of want to take a breather myself and make sure that I'm answering any questions that you have.
So Michelle, I do have a question. So when you deleted that person, or just say they, you pretty much kicked them out, is that email still somewhere that if they came back, you would be able to, you see it somewhere still?
Yes, so there are a couple of ways that so I don't want to share the screen
Right,
where
of course.
I show you what I do with it because it has other people's emails on it. But what it happens is that my email service provider is set up so that you can delete someone, so you can forget someone, so they're gone, right? It's like they never existed, or you can delete or unsubscribe. And so those two ways actually keep their history in there, but you're not being charged for them. They're not taking up space in regards to my wallet. So they could still be there, or I just completely take them out. So that person, it just so happened that the way I have my system set up, he came out of another later iteration where literally he was still in there. He was just like marked as deleted or unsubscribed. And I looked right at it and I said it. And I was like, oh yeah, you got all these emails. You ain't never opened them, bro. So, so then with that, it was super easy. I just resubscribed him. And because it was me that was doing it, it wasn't that he unsubscribed himself. My system allowed me to resubscribe him. So just remember, as I mentioned, there's different types of laws and things like that in place. So if someone unsubscribes from your list, they may have to resubscribe themselves. It depends on your service provider, whether or not they let you resubscribe someone who unsubscribed. In other words, if somebody has said, I don't want to hear from you, and then you turn it back on like, nope, you're going to hear from me. Your service provider might be like, nah, that's not okay.
Right.
But that's how that works. And that's why I'm able to turn that person back on as if they were, didn't miss a beat.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay, so with regard to the building of the list, because list building is huge, right? People really, really, really have all types of feelings about list building. So I want to show you, I have way too many tabs open. I want to show you, I opened it right before we started talking and now I can't find it. Shoot, hold on. I'm sorry. I don't know how I lose tabs like this all the time. Did I put it in incognito? Anyway, I'm going to show it to you in 2 seconds. My apologies. I want to show you how I help people not have me land in their junk mailbox. So when people log into my list, and we talked about this last week, having that success page that people can go to. Most people just give a generic success, and then actually, people just are like, oh, okay, I'm here. Or they might send them an email with the PDF or whatever, like I was just discussing. But what I do, and I can't remember if I showed this the last time, so I'm going to show it again. Apologies if this is duplicative, but I think it's worth sharing again because it is a really powerful tool, is that I actually redirect everyone who opts into my list. They get their email or downloadable, whatever they ask for, that goes straight to their email box that they just signed up with. But they themselves, their screen that they just opted in from is redirected to this page on my website. Because when people opt in, that is, they are the most engaged, they are the most ready to hear from you. They are all locked in to what you offer. and they've just given you something of value, which is access to their inbox. So this is the perfect time to tell them how to make sure that you continue to show up in your inbox, which gives them the value that they signed up for, but also to ensure that the email service providers don't block you from landing in their inbox. So as soon as they opt in, they come to this page and it says, thanks for being here. Welcome. You're in the right place. We're glad you're here. And then I teach them, if they're a Gmail user, exactly if they click on this link, which I've shared in our Facebook group before as well, this link takes them to their own Gmail inbox and writes to all of the emails that have ever been sent by your email address. So if you have this set up, I have it set up here with the email that I use from my email service provider. And so by clicking on this specific link, it takes anybody who clicks on it to Gmail, to a completely curated list of every email I've ever sent from them. It filters it that way. And then I show them, hey, if my emails end up here, make sure you drag it here so that I show up in your inbox. Like, it is really this important. And then on top of that, I show them all the ways that they can add me no matter who is their service provider. Oh, you got Yahoo? We're gonna make sure I get there too, right? So yes, was this a lot of work? Yes. Did I do it? No, I hired a VA. It was like $5 an hour and I gave her X amount of hours to do it and she got it all set up for me. Isn't this worth it? Right? Thoughts?
Thank you, Michelle. No, it's really, really great stuff. And like you said, you have a system in place and you, yes, the answer is yes, it's worth it. Absolutely worth it. And worth the headache and the time. And honestly, if you, as I know, being on your list, you email people and, they pay for products and services and they get on your webinars and everything else that you're doing. And that's the whole point. It's going to generate you money. So that, of course, it's worth it tenfold.
Yeah, for sure. No, definitely. I totally agree. And it's they say that you should be able to make $1 per month from on average of every person that's on your email list. Not that you get $1 from them, but you should be able to average $1 per person on your list every month, if done properly.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's very good. Very, very interesting. And the good thing is that, yeah, once you do that, all that automation, then you don't have to do it again. So yeah, in the beginning could be a big job or time consuming, but in the end, it pays.
Exactly. And that is absolutely the point, of if there's nothing you take away from every time I do these types of trainings, it's to know that no matter what, if you put the effort on the front end, it's so worth it and makes it so easy. And just do one thing at a time. Just take it step by step with the first goal you have in mind. I didn't put all of these systems in place like in a weekend, right? It's been over the course of years and months and different periods in my own business journey as well, and reevaluating what my goals were that this happened. So I want to always, I think you both actually were on the last email marketing presentation that I did last week. So you get this already, you have this already if you wanted it, the best damn emails. And of course, you can always stay connected to me by email, by carrier pigeon. I'm pretty much available everywhere all the time, it feels like. So I think that about wraps it up for me. If you don't have any other questions, and we're right at like 12:52 anyway, so we're just 8 minutes shy of the hour. Trying to think in terms of sort of getting deeper into list building and things like that. I do actually have, let me see if I can access it quickly. I do have a page that has a bunch of resources on email list building. And so I can put that in the chat.
Yeah, I was going to ask that question, and I'm sure you probably do. Like if somebody's just starting an email list, like I know there's different. I know there's a gazillion of them, right? So there's different levels of like, if I only have this many subscribers or people reading my emails versus, down the line when you have way more, like which company makes sense to start with as far as email systems.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And that's really like a great conversation to have with Tanya Harrison as well. Because depending on where you are in your journey, I just put the link to this page in the chat.
Okay.
And so it's my little ramp up your email marketing landing page. Clearly, it says this page may not be fancy, but it packs a big punch. And so it walks you through some opportunities. Obviously, my 30-day Make It Rain list building, rainmaking customer rainmaking program. The 30-day list building challenge that I love from Natalie Lucier is here. Again, I tell you exactly how to use that little trick that I talked about for Gmail for them to curate and find your email address in their email. And I tell you exactly how to do that. So that's kind of the resources that are on this page. And then of course you can always sign up for a 15-minute complimentary conversation with me at any time. So this ramp up your email marketing, herpowermoves.com, ramp up your email marketing is in the chat. Yeah, so I'm always available and feel free to reach out to me anytime. Hey, have any other questions?
Oh, thank you very much, Michelle, for all this information.
Oh, you're welcome. So I have one question for you ladies, and Jackie's going to be like, do not ask me that question. I'll ask Edith. Edith, so what is one takeaway that you have from our time together today that you think you could implement within 24 hours?
Well, definitely look through my email list that I have now and classify the people that I would like or I would think that might be interested in receiving my emails. So purge the email list that I have and make it into maybe a few email subscribers that I can send some of these emails that you described.
I love it. And another idea that I thought of, and always if you want to sign up for a consultation or jump on a call with me for a 15-minute overview, one of the things that I thought about while you were talking is that because you're specifically looking at maybe family lawyers, you could put together some type of cheat sheet about the best questions to ask, the best things to know, the best ways to prep your clients for working with an interpreter in a courtroom environment, right? Because most people are nervous already, and then you're putting them in a courtroom and they might feel uncomfortable with the language barrier. So there are things that you could do talking to the lawyers about how to make their clients feel more comfortable, but that sets you apart as an authority in the space and keeps you top of mind.
Right.
So that's like a super quickie. If you don't already have something like that, that could be something that you syndicate and send out and reach out to different lawyers with. And as they download it, say, hey, you downloaded, I see you downloaded that, would love to do a consultation. Like there's different calls to actions that you can put into your different emails. That's why last week when I was saying one email, one goal, one strategy, one goal per email, that kind of thing. If you're really clear about what it is you want the email to do, you can get really great results by offering value.
Yes, that's right. And I was thinking about that when you were talking about the downloadable, that I need to write something, although I just remember that I do have an article on how to work, 7 steps on how to work with an interpreter. So I can refresh that one and maybe write another article to have a second article available. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then just make that one behind an email gate, right? If you love this and you want more, here's this. or if this was helpful to you and you want more tips like this, then here's this. You're always asking people for their email address, but offering them something of value in return.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's great, you know. So Jackie, is there one thing that you would implement or that you have as a takeaway, or did you learn anything new today?
No, I definitely learned a lot about, especially when you're talking about the unsubscribing and kind of keeping people in different ways to know where they came from. You know, Michelle, I don't have any of that. I don't have any emails to send out this moment anyway, but I certainly understand why this makes sense. And me starting to think about eventually sending emails sometime this year, that to start off fresh, so I don't end up with email addresses in random places and not know where anybody came from. So this is kind of a good thing for me to start doing now before I start collecting emails for, for business purposes.
Yeah, no, I love that. And that's the beauty of it. Like a lot of people like, oh, I feel shame. I only have 2 people. My mom and dad are on my list or something like that. And I'm like, that's awesome. You can set up all your systems now. You don't have to, like Edith has to go back through, right? So there's always great things, and it's great to have a list already. So there's always beauty in whichever side you fall on, and just find that and then run with it. So that's pretty awesome. Just a quick question to either of you, since again, you both were had watched the last week's. Is there anything else on email marketing that you would like covered? Or are there other topics related to marketing that you would like my help with in more of these kinds of lunch and learns that I'm apparently going to be doing on a regular basis?
I don't know off the top of my head about anything else that would come up for emails just yet. But general marketing, stuff as far as social media marketing and stuff like that, I'm sure would probably be helpful to many people.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was thinking, what would be like a model of the first email that you send when you do cold calls, meaning when you send that first email to someone that you don't know, but you want to inquire to see if they are interested in our information and the articles that we read, like you said, to start that process of obtaining emails and then see who responds and put them in different categories.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually that's in that link, that bit.ly best damn emails link. There's actually templates in there, and that's one of them.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, no, that's really important, because you can't, again, from the legal perspective, this is not legal advice at all, but I do know that you can't just add people to your list. You have to give them a reason to opt in, and they have to give you their permission, either verbally or they actually physically opt into your list. And so, yeah, by sending those kinds of because there's strategies for LinkedIn even, right? Because you can download emails on LinkedIn and send those people emails and give them that call to action to then get on your list. And I've done that. And I have a number of people who are on my list because of a LinkedIn connection that I specifically downloaded them, then sent them a mass email based on our LinkedIn connection, and then said, hey, I think you might be interested in this. And the ones who raised their hand then got put into the mix. So that's exactly, you're definitely on the right track with that. That's a great funnel for cold traffic, exactly, to make sure they get onto your list before they've made a purchase, but you know what they're interested in. Yep. Yeah. So if you have questions after looking at those templates, feel free to reach out to me, Edith, but there are some templates in there, and I walk through the psychology of exactly why the parts of the emails are broken down that way as well.
Okay. Yes, definitely. I'll give you a call. And those are in this link that you.
No, not that. Wait, did I? Yeah, it is. It says there, click here to download, but I think that might be the later version. So it's on this last slide. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to just share it because it'll be easier than me trying to say it and put it in the comments. So this link, that bit.ly best damn emails link.
Yes.
That link. I'll put it in it. I can put it in the chat now. I just didn't want to have a typo in it because Bitly is unforgiving. If you have a typo, that's it. So that's that. Yeah. So this was really helpful to me. Thank you both for being so willing to interact with me. That helps me make things helpful, more helpful. I think it's more helpful to me for sure. I appreciate it. So I'll keep you posted. I don't think I'll be doing this one next week, but the week after, I'm pretty sure I will be. And so I'm looking forward to bringing you more value. And if you come up with any other ideas, or if anything comes up as you're going about your life and you think Michelle might have the answers, please let me know. I'd love to be able to provide those resources to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you both. Have a great
Michelle.
day. I'll see you later, Jacqueline.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Bye.
All right. Bye, Edith. Nice to connect with
Bye,
you. in
Edith.
person.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Jackie.
Take care.